kind of don't know what happened there. That was really, really weird. I just got the blue screen of death right in the middle of talking to you. So I'm back. A little annoying, but hey, that's life, right? And that's why I back everything up. Back up, back up, back up. As a matter of fact, hey, while I'm talking about backing up, I'm going to show you. I have showed you guys this device before. This is the Next 2DI. I got it through Adorama, but it came to me directly from Japan. Apparently not easy to get anymore, but if you have a need to back things up, you do any type of photography, you go on the road. Oh, love this thing. Verifies. You hook it up with your reader right to the port, and it does have some ports for the Big CF card, and a couple of others. I can't remember what. Maybe it is just the CF Express. But anyway, you just hook it up with a reader, put your card in, and hit the button, and it will verify that everything is good and copy everything in raw format from your disk as or your chip as a backup. So really, really cool device. Doesn't touch the device at all. I still upload from my cards, but I have a full backup in RAW on this device, which has an internal drive that you can replace. So that's another beautiful thing about it. I have a 1 terabyte drive in there right now, but as I have another 1 terabyte drive, this one's empty. You just take it out, slip this one in, slip a new one in. Bob's your uncle. You can have as many terabytes as you want in there, so it won't go obsolete. It is going to, be expandable to as large as files that you may need. So love this thing, Next 2DI, and I have done a review on that, but just the first time I used it in the field. Super, super happy with it. All right, where did I leave off? So I was going to bring this over to, when I was rudely interrupted by the blue screen of death, I was going to bring this over to Adobe, because this poor little fellow has something in his eye, and it's not the camera, it's something he has in his eye. Then I just want to remove it because it's a little distracting. So I'm going to get my, come on, my spot healing brush, and I want to make it as small. There we go. Now it's working. I want to make it as small as possible. It's just right there on his eye. It's a little bit distracting. It's not anything unusual. It was something he had on his eye, but it's distracting, and I wanted to take it out. And just these couple of little spots on the water that I'm not crazy about. Nothing major, just distracting to me. So I'm removing them. I want to make sure that we leave all the water drops on him, because that's part of the beauty of him. Or her, actually. I don't know. I made a gender assumption there, and probably shouldn't have done that. Okay. So that's good. That's all I wanted to do there. And I'll bring him back to Lightroom, and those things are fixed up. Now, I do want to actually bring him into, and I have to remember which program it is, to be honest with you. I think it's Luminar Neo that has an animal eye feature, because this little baby, this beauty, there's some beautiful big eyes there that I really want to remind me later. I don't want to install any updates right now. So edit. There we go. Now I got to remember if it is this program. And I'm not really sure. got to remember now. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, wait, no. Wait, I just had that a second ago. Oh, it's doing skin. No, face. But it's not doing the eyes. I've got to remember now where it was. Bear with me. I want to see what program it is. I know I have it that works on animal eyes. No. Come on. Nope, 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 nope. Annoying, annoying, annoying. Well, I guess you can do it in Photos. Oh, you can do it in Lightroom as well. But that's not really... Well, let's try and do it in Lightroom. So before I do anything here, I'm going to try it in Lightroom. We can use the eye feature, but I don't... Oh, pet eye. It is. Ha! It's right in Lightroom. So, surprise, it's in Lightroom. My bad. And we'll see. We'll see how that looks. I don't like it. Beautiful thing is Control X, Control X. I can do it this way with a button too. There we go. I don't like it. I don't like what it did. So, no. Funny though that I forgot that it was right in Lightroom. So yeah, I don't need to do it because I really like the glare, the look. Let me close that. The look of the eye as it is. I kind of wanted to enhance it a little bit, but it's not really doing anything. It's not doing anything. Let's see. Drag from the center of the eye. Yeah, I did that, and I don't really like what it did. Okay, so it'll leave the eyes as they are. I am going to bring up the shadows a hair more, and that's going to enhance that eye automatically, as well as some other parts of the photograph. So now that we've brought that up, we've got even clearer. Now, I do want to bring this into, actually, before I do that, I want to bring this into sharpen, because there are some areas of the face that I really want to sharpen a little bit, and I'll always be able to go back and re-bokeh the water, so not worried about that. Let's just see what we get here. Focus on the face and see if we can get some sharper areas just above the water. May not be able to, and that's okay. Not. Let's do a normal. It gets a little too high. I can always lower it as well. Ugh, yeah, that's too much. All right, so let's lower it a little bit and see what happens. I think a little bit more. It's really just a slight update, slight sharpening. A little hair less. Almost there. Don't want it to be too sharp, but yet I want to be able to see some of the detail in the fur. I think that's much better. We can see the detail in the nose, and I'm okay with that. It's a little bit more what I'm looking for. Okay. See, we really just did very slight. Very, very slight. So I'm going to get back to the library. I'm going to take the flags off of these very carefully. Different iterations. I keep all of my iterations just because I want to be able to go back. And there's no harm in keeping the iterations. There's plenty of space on the drives here, so no problem there. Oh, you can see I'm wearing my Falkland Islands t-shirt. Sweatshirt, I should say. Okay, what else do I want to do to him? Now, he's pretty good as is. I like this little bit of you can see his body down here. That's not a mirror image. That's actually part of, well, the shadow of his body. The body's out here. You can see a little bit of the body behind. So I don't really want to do any cropping. I do have, a couple of spots that need fixing. And I am good with that. Okay, so just cleared that up a little bit. So there's nothing else I really want to do here. I could perhaps give it a little more clarity, just a touch, keeping a bit of texture, bringing those blacks down again. Don't want to lift the shadows up too much anymore. We could give it a little bit more contrast. And I think we're good. I think we've got the essence of this beautiful face. And I am happy with this baby fur seal. Well, juvenile fur seal. So I'll go ahead and export that. And I do have to change this because I had done some work for some friends and sent them a full-size photograph, but I need to put this back in my web page sized photographs. So this is baby fur seal, but the other thing I have, whoops, that was dumb. Baby fur seal, there we go. And then I have to fix this back down to 72 DPI. 72 DPI is what I always save it in for publishing to the web, publishing to Instagram, Facebook. That's all you need for those. And then also it can't be enlarged if somebody tries to take the photograph. So that's just a little protection feature. And I'll leave it the white logo, and I will make sure, let's just make sure I've got it in the right place. Antarctica, perfect, export. And we're good to go. All right, so Last thing I do, as always, is put the 5 stars on that, so I know I've already completed that photograph. And moving on. I'm not sure why I have an explanation. Should later import settings from disk or those from the catalog. Overwrite settings. Okay. Not sure, exactly sure what that meant, but we're just going to keep it from there. All right, so maybe. Not really sure. Let's play with it, see what happens. Oh, I already started playing with it a little bit. I need to bump up that exposure a little bit. Sometimes you have your camera set for a certain exposure on something else, and then a bird flies right by you, and you can realize you got to fix that afterwards. So not a problem, can be done. This is an okay photograph. I'm going to wait on this because it's just, it's okay. There's nothing spectacular about it. It's just a bird. There's no scenery behind it or anything like that. To look at birds with some scenery, let's go to and there's so much here to edit. We're going to be editing for a long time. But let's go to something different. Let's go to the albatross. And let me find my albatross photographs and see what we can. Now, I'm not sure why I have that one. I'm not sure why that. Oh, because I really liked the look of that one. Right. Well, you know what? Before we go to the albatross, let me try this. Hold on. Let me grab the white balance and see if that did not do it. Did not do what I wanted to do. Maybe, oh, I already dehazed that. Yeah, okay. I'm going to come back to that one. There are other photographs of those two that are also good. Not sure what that blue was. Very strange. But there are some other photograph. I mean, this one's got a beautiful look on the bird's eye. Still got to figure out what bird that was. I should know that. I'm a little bummed that I don't know what photograph. I mean, what bird that is. Even with my handy wildlife, Antarctic wildlife guide, can't seem to nail down what one that is. I think it's a petrel, but I'm not positive. In fact, you know what? Just for giggles, going to bring this over, and we're going to look for what did I think it was? A petrel? Yeah, I'm going to look at giant petrel. And see if, yeah, look at that. The giant petrel. I wasn't sure, but that's the guy. Look at the face. Look at that face. All right, so good to know. That's a giant petrel. Solve that problem. Good old Auntie Google. So I really like the look of the giant petrel's face here. I just, I kept shooting because it was such an interesting, it was such an interesting scene. This baby seal, a baby fur seal, and this baby fur seal is probably like 2 days old. It has no fear at this point of this petrel, and is just walking up to this petrel as if it's, a buddy. And the petrel really is paying it no mind, which again was kind of interesting to me. I mean, that's just the juxtaposition of these two animals. To me was absolutely fascinating. So, I mean, I like this one too. There's several positions I do like. I like that one. because we have both clear eyes on the baby fur seal and clear eyes on the petrel. No, that one I already flagged. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to unflag this one because I like the next one better. That one's better. That's kind of cool too. The baby seal's looking looking forward. Kind of cool. Posing a little bit. Ooh, don't know what happened there, but we'll just remove that photograph. And then the petrel decides, you know what? I've had enough of this kid. I'm out of here. And flies off, leaving the, well, it doesn't kind of fly off, but he's a little annoyed with the baby seal. I did keep shooting just because I loved the wings of the petrel. And the baby seal looks fascinated with the wings of this petrel. I mean, remember, this thing is only a couple of days old. It has only been out in this world for a couple of days. So it's never seen this thing before. And it's fascinated. It's got wings. It's, you know, what are these big giant arms that it's got? It's completely fascinated by it. So, I mean, there are a couple of interesting, let me go back a little bit. I kind of like this shot too. Which one? That one. Even though you can't see the face of the bird or the baby, that would have been better. Just he's so fascinated with it. So, all right. Maybe, no, not that one. Maybe I'll work on this now. Let's see. I'm going to unflag that one. So out of these, let's see. I like that one. I like this one because we can really see the colors of the eyes there. But then I do like that one where the baby seal is looking face forward. And that's this one. So yeah, and there's several to choose from. Let me play with this one and see what happens. And just bring that in a little bit. Yeah, I kind of like this one. First thing I want to do, though, is bring it into Topaz Sharpen because the bird is not as sharp as I would have liked it in this particular photograph. So if I can't get the bird sharp enough, I may move on to a different photograph. But let's give it a try. Let's see what we can do. And it's not really motion blur, but let's see what we've got. Sometimes it takes a few minutes. Well, it really cleaned up the baby fur seal. Sharpened him up nicely, or her. Sharpened it up nicely, but not as much the petrel. Let's try that one. See if that works any better. Hope everybody is busy preparing for their New Year's Eve, whatever that you guys have planned today. I am going to be an old person today and have a nice dinner at home, making a nice dinner, watching the ball drop in New York. Maybe I'll make it to midnight in Portland. Maybe I won't. And I'm going to be toasting with something non-alcoholic. What? Maybe a little shot. I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's see. Did this do what I wanted to do? I don't think it did. No, I don't like that at all. Let's do too soft. Nope. So far, oh, hang on, it's way down there. That could be why. That's better, but I don't really like it. I think I liked the motion blur. I'll try standard as well, but let me try the motion blur again. And for anybody that has not noticed or seen me doing this before, even though these say too soft, out of focus, motion blur, that's not really what's going on. That's just what they've labeled them. They're just different parameters or presets for sharpening. Let's see if that helps the petrol in the back at all. And there's nothing wrong with post-processing. Here's the deal. I mean, for example, taking this photograph, I am on a Zodiac boat. The sea is bouncing. This shows you the caliber of what the quality of the camera and its ability to reduce vibration. But some photos are going to be a tad blurry. I'm I have a tripod. I do use tripods occasionally. But when I travel to places like this, bringing a tripod is really not something that I can do. People did, and that's great and good for them. They're shooting maybe something different. But I'm a big believer in handheld. For me as a photographer, with what I do, if I can't get it handheld, then I shouldn't be shooting it. That's just me. Take nothing away from people that use a tripod all the time, and that's okay. In this kind of a situation, when you're on a boat, you can't. You can't set up a tripod on a boat, and it's not going to make any difference anyway. But even on land, the shot that I worked on a couple days ago with the sparring elephant seals, that was handheld. I don't use a tripod, even though there were quite a few people who did bring tripods and set them up. I didn't feel the need to encumber my already stuffed luggage with camera gear with a tripod, considering the conditions I was facing. Mostly, being on Zodiac boats, landing on very snowy ground where I was going to need to use walking sticks, hiking sticks with snow baskets. So, you kind of decide what you're going to use and what you're going to do at the time. And I did not bring a tripod. So, okay, I don't like what that's done. Let's try the standard. Oh, there we go. Refine. Okay. What I want to do is add here. Add some sharpness there. Yeah, it's a little better. So I was able to sharpen up this a bit more by doing it that way. And I'll bring it in again because there are still a couple of things I want to, do on that. And it takes quite a bit of time, even with as much computing power as I have. And I do have a lot of computing power, which is why I don't edit on my laptop. I only edit in my system here. It's doing all of this to a raw photograph, which is uncompressed and has a lot of detail and a lot of data. So we can see the difference here. If we go to this one, we can see this was really fuzzy, much cleaner. Both of them are much cleaner. This guy already sharpened, but I was able to mask and sharpen this part even more, which I wasn't satisfied with what the AI was doing. So but I do want to take it back into sharpen because there was still something I wanted to do before I hit apply. And let's go back there. It's just doing the standard. So you see this is already sharper. So what I did there, just to refresh, is I chose the select button, and I'm going to undo that, and that masks the AI, artificial intelligence masks the subject, what it sees as the subject of the photograph, and then lets you just do things specifically to the subject without doing it to the whole photograph, which is really nice. I do like that a lot. And I can see what this is doing and then make a decision. Okay, no, don't like that at all. So I am going to do it this way. And I want it to actually see if it does it with just lens blur first. No. Oh. Right, it was motion blur. So before I do the masking, I'm going to see if I can't just do it this way, because I've already masked and saved the iteration where I just worked on the petrol behind. At least the petrol's head. Yeah, see, I like what that's done to... I really like what that's done to the baby fur seal. It has tightened this up a little bit. We could tighten that up a little bit, in which case I'm going to go ahead and oh, no, it figured it out. I'm going to go ahead and refine that. It's not picking up this, but that's okay. I am going to just do this. Inverting the mask so I can get right up there to the fur seal. And then I want to add. Oop. I don't think I can oh, I was able to do that. I wasn't sure if that would work. Let's see. Oh, I subtracted that. Hang on. Let me undo changes. So what I need to do is refine. I don't want to invert the mask, but I'm going to... I'm trying to think which way is going to be easier. All right. I'm going to leave the mask as it is and then just add this piece in. I'll have to do it this way. Sometimes it's a little bit of trial and error. And that should sharpen that up a bit. Make the brush size a little bit smaller, just so I can get into some of the details here. And that should, yeah, there we go. So what that did was I was able to mask it. I didn't touch the animals, the baby fur seal, or the head of the petrel because I had already sharpened that. I just went in and sharpened the rest of the petrel a little bit, and now you can see it's a little bit more defined, and as well as you can really see the water droplets off of that. So I'm going to apply that, and that will bring it into Lightroom. Again, taking a few minutes because there's a lot of data there. A lot of pixels, a lot of data. When you take a photograph in RAW, it's very different from taking a photograph in JPEG, even though they get exported to JPEG. And a RAW photograph it's completely uncompressed. It's got all of the data there, and there's a lot to work with. So it takes time for any program to process it. Even if I had less computing power, it would take a lot longer. So luckily, we're good there. All right, so this is the last one to be edited. I just want to make sure that's a different photograph. Okay, that's the last iteration, I believe. Yes. See, that one's good here, but it's a little soft there. So I want to take the flag off of that one. This was also a previous iteration. I'm going to take the flag off of this one, and I'm going to go back to our final iteration. Now, let me just show you again. So if you look there, you'll see the feathers here. And let me make this bigger so it's a little bit easier to see. You'll see the feathers here are not quite as sharp as they should be. They're not quite as sharp as the rest of the photograph is. And if I do the one where we fixed it, you can see now everything's a little bit sharper. And not only are the feathers sharper, but we can see the water droplets, which is a very, very cool feature. So this is the one I'm going to 5-star it now, because we're not going to change anything with this one other than maybe some minor adjustments here in Lightroom. So I will deepen the blacks because I love doing that. It just really, really makes a photograph pop for me when you deepen the blacks. Dehaze it a tiny drop, not a lot, just minor. We don't really need to bump up clarity at all, or texture. Our shadows are good. Nothing needed there. Can do a little bit. Let's see if we do a little bit more contrast. What that's going to do. No, don't like the contrast on that. If we do less contrast, that's actually a little bit better. We want to watch our histogram up top. So I'm going to do a little less contrast there. And then I like that a little bit better. And it also brings everything in the histogram more towards the center. Okay. Playing with histograms is a whole other thing, which I will probably show at some point someday. It's some people use it in their cameras. I don't, but that's okay. Everybody does things differently. But for a new photographer, a new user, there are other things to pay attention to first before you start getting into histograms. So we'll leave that there. Sharpening, we've already taken care of that. Noise reduction, we don't need to do any of that. Actually, a little bit of noise in the background in the bokeh. And I like it as it is. We've got a, oh, I don't know how the blacks went all the way up there. Oh, I see when I moved the histogram, but I'm going to deepen the blacks. Yeah, maybe not so much. Yeah, that's better. Okay. I like this photograph as it is. It kind of says something, and going to export it. So this one is, we'll call this one First Meeting. Baby's First Meeting. Baby's first meeting. It's the first time that baby seal has encountered a creature of another species. So it was kind of a neat thing to say. All right, moving on. Going to our next one. And there's some other iterations here that I may play with later. I just really, really liked that particular one. Oh, that was the flapping. Okay. Now, no. This one's fun. I like this one. There are gosh, there was just so many. I mean, look at this. Just as far as the eye can see, 250,000 king penguins. There's no way to describe this. It just, the cacophony of sound of these magnificent creatures calling to one another. Just incredible. Oh, no, it's not that one. Whoops. Oh, I've got to bring my photograph back into shape there. No, not that one. Maybe it is this one that I liked. New. I'll make it a little bit bigger. There we go. That's still too big. All right. It's being very picky. Let's see if there were more of those up here. Or were these the individuals? Individuals. All right. This is kind of nice also. Let's see. All right. I got to get rid of that. That was just annoying me, so I had to get rid of it. I do like this photograph a lot. I don't really, all right, come along with me. Bear with me. I'm gonna see what happens when I take this into Aurora HDR, just to give this some high definition. It looks a little flat to me, and normally I don't do this with animal photographs, but I think this is begging for it, so we'll see. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll show you the difference. This is before. Yeah, see, it just was too flat for me. It's not the colors, it's just HDR. Now, I can shoot in HDR in the camera. I don't, because I don't like every photograph in HDR. Some people do. That's fine. That's their style. Everybody's got their own style. I don't. I can even enhance this a little bit. I really like the what it's done here with the sky, with the vibrance of the sky as well. You can also see these guys as far as the eye can see. Do like it. And let's see. I'm going to bring some shadows up. Get a little hair more vivid and add the polarizer on there. I could take a little bit of the blue out. Hey, how's it going? What's up with you, PNW? We still got to get together for coffee. Yeah, when I'm in town, right? I am here all of January, so we can get together. I know. We're both so busy, but we do have to get together for coffee. You got my contact deets, right? Oh, you can always message me on Discord. Bring up those shadows of hair. Yeah, our histogram is good. Yeah, I like that. I like what it's done. Yeah, the HDR is a lot faster. Now I do need to bring it back into Photoshop to fix some of those little blemishes, which I could have done in another program as well. I'm just so used to doing that in Photoshop that I don't bother. That was it. Just some sky blemishes. And it's good. Okay. So I do like this. I don't think there's anything else I want to do. Oh, the Instagram. Yeah. Perfect. Just send me a message through Instagram, and we can get together for coffee in January. Any day but Tuesday. And I think I like this. I don't really want to crop out any of these penguins. All right, I'm not gonna crop it. I will leave it as is. And exportate. Ow! That was dumb. Okay. Let's call that King Colony. And exportate. Wow, that really hurt. It's kind of dumb. Oh, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow I can't. I could do the 3rd. Oh, that's during the week. You probably can't during the week. Let me look. Oh, can you do during the week? Because during the week is super easy for me. We could do the 3rd. Yeah, 3rd in the afternoon works. Let me put that in my calendar, and then we can. Yeah, that works. If I can type. Okay, yeah, we'll chat on Instagram. And oh, you want to do it now? Okay. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Three can do that. That works. And we just need to find a place like kind of halfway between. But we can figure that out. We'll do that offline. Sounds like a plan. Dirty, dirty Gen 2 penguins. Dirty birdies. Oh, there's the ship. All right, I'm looking for. Oh, these guys were cute. All right, I'll flag that guy. Oh, I have another one here. Oh, which one's better? That one's better. I think these are crab eater seals. I think. I'll have to look. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're crab eater seals. Let's see now. That might be sharper. Let's see. Let's see that. Yeah. Hard to tell. All right. My trip was fantastic. Hard work. I'm not going to lie. A lot of hard work. Hiking and climbing. They had 40 feet of snow. 6 weeks of summer snow. By the time we went there, It was really the first sun they had seen in the season. So that was pretty remarkable. And then we had sun the entire time except for the last day. And then it got down to about 1 degree, which was a little chilly. But, I mean, it was still cold. There was 40 feet of snow. But the hiking was kind of hard because there were several times that one leg would sink in the snow up to, my calf. And I'd have to pull myself out with my poles. But yeah, my timing is usually really, really impeccable. So pleased with that. I told everybody that, hey, I don't know what to tell you, but, weather is my thing. I'm usually very, very lucky. Knock on wood. I don't know. I'm not even superstitious, but, my mom always did that, so I got to do it. But, no, it was incredible. The only thing we didn't see were macaroni penguins. I was kind of sad about that. There was just too much wind, apparently, so they say, where we were going. They kind of forgot one day. They left the Falkland Islands a day early. They didn't look at the itinerary, I guess, the guy said. Who knows? But still, all in all, everything else was incredible. Oh, thank you. I try to be, I really try to have be in the moment and enjoy what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing and bring that bright ray of sunshine with me. I'm telling you, there were a couple of people who did not get off the boat ship. And I'm thinking to myself, why? Why did you go on an expedition and not get off the ship? You could very easily take a large cruise ship that is not allowed to go on land and, just skirt by and you see Antarctica and you wave at it and you go on your merry way. But this was an expedition where we were getting off the ship twice a day and walking through stuff like this. So I don't understand that whole, why? I there are other ways to do it, but that's me. I don't know. Silly me, right? Oh, I like what that did. That really brought out his features. So yeah, I don't get that. And there were people. You're not allowed to have any more than 100 people on land in Antarctica at any one given time at any one location. That's just part of the Antarctic Treaty. To preserve everything. And, even where we were walking, we had a bit of a tough time because there had been so much snow. You have to cover up the holes should you, sink like I did. And because the penguins can fall in those holes and then they can't get out. So there's a lot of responsibility. And there was a lot of, steep hiking and difficult hiking. So it really isn't for everybody. I had, I'm a pretty decently fit person, but I had also really worked up to it in the gym every day for at least a month before I went. Yeah. Well, there were no children. There were no children on the ship, which was lovely. Nothing against children. I just can't eat a whole one in one sitting. No, I'm kidding. I just love, kids are great, just when they're not mine, and not on expedition trips, which are adventure trips like I normally do. Oh, yeah, right? I know, the adults, yeah. It was weird. It was really weird. I don't get it, but, who am I to be judgy? I just don't understand, spending the money to go on something like that and never setting foot on the continent. You can't say you've been to Antarctica if you didn't set foot on the continent. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I was perfectly fine. No kids around. It made me very happy. Like I said, kids are fine when they're somebody else's and they're in small doses and mommy and daddy are taking care of them. They're great. But yeah, there was a reason I didn't have children. So, I have stepchildren, but they're adults now. So that's cool. All right, I am going to, whoops, I'm going to bring that in a little bit more. Bring that up. There we go. All right. But it's one of those places that I highly recommend people going. It's incredible. There's something about it that you just can't explain. You can watch, you can look at my photos all you want until the end of the day. You can watch National Geographic. You can listen to David Attenborough talk. But being there is really something different. It's something unique. Hey, Paranoid. Yes, exactly. Antarctica hikes do not support baby strollers. They do not. Uh, Besides, unless you're going to feed your baby to the seals, I don't know. No, there are no. Well, there are places in Antarctica you can ski, not right off of the landings. There are places further in that you can be heli-skied into. Not me, but yeah, it's not something you would bring children to. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Raised by penguins, absolutely, absolutely. Give the kids to the penguins; they will raise them. They will raise them as their own, and then send them off into the world. Of course, the kids will have to learn how to swim in the ocean and fish for their own fish, but that's a penguin thing. It's a silly penguin thing. Silly penguin requirement. Yeah, we didn't need to do that. Okay. Oh, right. I know what I wanted to do. I need to, typically lately I've been reducing the blues. Here I need to increase the blues to bring out the blue in the ice here. The ice is really blue. I did have a polarizing filter on, but, oops, wrong way on that one. Oh, don't want to do that one at all. I did have a polarizing filter on, but it's still, that's not going to work. All right. And I don't want to mask it. So, what I can do, if I bring the whites down, no. Leave the white as is, or bring that up a little bit. You can still see some of the blue. There wasn't a whole lot of blue, but the ice really does have a lot of blue in it, which makes it kind of cool. All right, I'm good with that one. And these are crab eater seals. And the funny thing is they don't eat crabs. I'm not sure. I can't remember why they were given that name, but whalers. I guess because their mouths were all red. The sailors used to think they were eating crabs. I'm not really sure. Oh, you want the total photo count? Okay, almost 9,000. Yeah. Yep. I'm proud of it. Yeah, actually, do you mean here in Lightroom? Yeah, I could do that. I use a that works. That works. That works. Okay. Yeah, good idea. Good idea, PNW. I use a two cameras. Um, I always have a backup, but I actually in cold weather you don't want to be switching lenses, so I have the Nikon Z6 II mirrorless with my 100 400, and sometimes I used the 2-time converter, depending on where I was. And then I had a Z6 as a backup, but I used that with my shorter 24 to 120, which I really love that lens as well. So that was the kit. I did not bring my D500, which I was going to, but I just didn't have the room. It was already too much. But aside from never, making sure you never just have one camera when you're going to a place like this, I mean, just don't do it. When you're in the cold or any extreme temperature, it's always good to not have to switch lenses, which is good. That's really good. That the 150 to 600 is a good focal length. Nikon is coming out for the Z cameras with a little bit longer, but with the 2-time converter, it was up to 800, and that was perfectly fine. With the 2-time converter, especially in Antarctica where it was light almost 24 hours a day, there was no concern about light loss. So that was fine. The other thing I will say, which is, and I'm going to do an update on my YouTube review on the Z6 II camera. Both the Z6 II and the Z6 and the lenses performed flawlessly in sub-freezing temperatures. I mean, it got down to 1 degree. It was snowing, and performed like a charm. I mean, other people's cameras were dying, and those things just kept on moving. So I really can't say enough about them. It really doesn't matter what the manufacturer's parameters say. They're giving you a safety parameter so you can't sue them. I'll tell you right now that the Nikon Z cameras perform flawlessly in sub-freezing weather. And by sub-freezing, I mean really sub-freezing. There were a couple of people that did have some problems with their Sonys, interestingly enough, in sub-freezing. The Canons, no, but the some people did have a couple of problems with Sony. So I don't know what model of Sony they were using, admittedly, but they're just throwing that out there. Yeah, they were Sony A1s. I think they were A1s, but I don't know what models they were or anything. So because I don't know Sony models. I only know that I stream with a Alpha 7 II. So I don't know anything else about Sonys. I just know there were a couple people with Sonys that did have a little bit of freezing problems. Nothing significant. It's not like it ruined their trip or anything. Yeah, absolutely, a circular polarizer, 100%. You have to have a circular polarizer with you. A neutral density is also good. I had one with me. I never used it because with a neutral density, you really want to be on a tripod. But the circular polarizer, if you're shooting in, snow and ice, absolutely you want that circular polarizer. It makes a huge difference, especially, I'll show you, actually. Capturing icebergs. Here we go. It makes a big difference in being able, I've got my circular polarizer on here, makes a huge difference in being able to catch the blues. Without a circular polarizer, these blues are going to kind of wash out a little bit. So if you have nothing else with you, filter-wise or anything, and I don't always shoot with filters. I used to, but I used to shoot with red filters and all sorts of stuff. But a circular polarizer, absolutely necessary. Yeah. You should get one. You should definitely get, if you're doing any kind of cold weather photography, like where there's ice and snow, or you're doing any type of, icebergs, things like that, even with 150, 600, you definitely want to use a circular polarizer. It makes a huge difference because you're gonna be able to get the definition in the blues that you were not going to be able to get without the circular polarizer, and doing them afterwards in post, it doesn't bring it out enough. So yeah. In fact, there's one spot that here's another example where you really see the blues, but there was Oh, well, you know what? I think that was earlier on. Yeah, I think. Yep, it was earlier on. Not that one. That's just a shadow shot. Uh, but there was a really interesting iceberg. Oh, here's another example. So with the polarizer, uh, what it's going to do is make the water around it black, which is what you want, and then you really get the blue of the iceberg underneath the water. That's what using the polarizer really does. So yeah, I mean, without the polarizer, you're not going to see that. It's going to be kind of muddled. So that's a really good example. Oh yeah, the color grading, absolutely. I like to do as much as I can in camera while I'm shooting. But I mean, as you guys all know, I'm not opposed to post processing things at all. But yeah, you get a lot of depth with color grading. Absolutely. I'm looking for. Oh, this is Mike the Minky. Mike the Minky Whale. He was playing with us for hours. It was crazy. It was like we were hanging out with a human. I, I I don't look him rolling on his back playing with us. It was crazy, and we got to name him. We got to name him Mike because he was a whale that had never been seen before. There he was coming up to see us. There's a particular. Oh, here he is. Yeah, Mike the Minky. There's a particular iceberg I'm looking for. Oh, here's some underwater shots. Now this was just with shooting down into the water with my polarizer on. It was that's the baleen, the baleen whale, just incredible creature. Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Nice. I've used. I haven't played as much with the color grading as I perhaps should. It is something I probably should play with a little bit more. And thanks for reminding me about it. There's some tools that you don't use all the time and you completely forget. So yeah, color grading can be fun. But yeah, totally. I'm trying to look for. There's a particular iceberg that I took a picture of, and looking in 9,000 photographs, eventually you find it. Whale tail, lots of whale tails. Oh, it was right around here, and it was really very cool. I just need to find it. Ah, here it is. So this is the kind of thing that the polarizer really captures. That just bizarre light formation in there. Let me see which one. There, I just took it at so many different angles. I kind of like that one actually. I took it at so many different angles, but it was just so luminescent, so incredibly luminescent. I mean, look at that blue, and that's with the polarizer picking it up. I mean, you can see it with the naked eye, uh, but just taking a regular photograph of it doesn't do it. It doesn't do it justice unless you've got that polarizer on. Let's just for giggles going to cut this one down a little bit. Let's see. No. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, don't want to blend it either. Oops. What I wanted to play with here is see what would happen if I took it into HDR, just for giggles. See what happens. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, that's not the one. Let's see. No, that's a little weird. None of those are good. Landscape. No. None of these are good. They're taking too much of the blue, which I don't like. No. So HDR does not work on the icebergs. Good to know. But I'll come back to this one later. I just wanted to find that luminescent iceberg. All right. So now I'm looking for the albatross, which I was looking for about 20 minutes ago and got sidetracked with so many other things. Okay. Albatross. No, that's later. More pangoos. Tons of pangoos. I think nope. Albatross is before this. Yes. I believe it is. Oh, to give you an exact count, 8,478 photographs. Yeah, I'm not that creative with that kind of painterly look. I haven't done much of it before, to be honest. So it's something I'd really have to investigate. There's a lonely little gentoo. Yeah, it's certain things I've not really played with or tried, and I'd love to. I really do need to do it. Oh, hang on. See, I get so sidetracked with these photographs. So, yeah, absolutely. I did get some photographs of some gentoo penguins jumping in the water, like diving into the water, but I don't think it's here. Oh, stealing rocks. Actually, they're just collecting rocks to give to their wives. No, I don't know where it is. I'll look for it later because I really am seriously looking for my albatross. Oh, actually, that's kind of cute too. Put that, flag that. You can tell I haven't really looked through all of my photographs. Look at them laying there, so cute. Don't you just want to squeeze them and take them home? They're a little stinky, but still, so cute. Yeah, it is a lot. 2 cameras, but you can't. Oh, okay. That's a purpose shot, I think. No, it wasn't. I'll get rid of it. It is, but I actually, I filled up 5 cards, 256 gig, 264, and a 120. But you can't stop shooting. I was there for 3 weeks, though. Bear that in mind. I was there for 3 weeks. So, for 3 weeks, it's not so bad. I'm randomly kind of tagging them. My process, I think you know this, my process is to tag or flag the ones I want to go back to later. So if I just see something, then I tag it. Yeah. Right. Yeah, if I was just there for 4 hours, 9,000 photographs, it's a bit ridiculous. You're just, firing off. But no, this was 3 weeks. Some of that time was at sea, but still, 3 weeks was a long time. So yeah, was kind of required. Where is it? Where are my whoosy what's its? I know they're here because I have seen them. My albatross photographs. I hiked all the way up the mountain to see albatross nesting, and now I gotta find them. There's Adorama has had some sales going on. The ones I use the Nikon uses both the Sony XQD format as well as the CF Express B format. So I have some of both, which I really, really like. What card? Yeah, for sure, paranoid. What card are you using for the Sony? Oh, I know. Hang on. I remember the problem that people with the Sonys were having. I don't know if your Sony A1 has the same problem, but the Sonys, and I've got one here from my camera up here, have a little battery. Yeah, so that's should be the CFB Express. Yeah, CF Express B, which is this one. They've come way down in price. The XQD card is a lot more expensive, but the CFXB have come down in price. Check out Adorama. They've got some really good prices on them right now. Oh, CF Express A. Interesting. Wow. Yeah, no, I love the CF Express Bs and the XQD cards. They're solid. I really, really like them. They remind me of the old the bigger CF cards. But the problem with the Sony camera that people were having is battery. So this is the Nikon battery, and this is the Sony battery, so you can see comparison in size. Size matters. Yeah, B&H Photo also does have some deals. But size matters when it comes to cold weather. The battery for the the Sonys were dying too fast. People could not take very many shots because it's such a small battery. The battery itself doesn't seem to tolerate cold. So that was the main problem. I knew there was a problem and I couldn't remember what it was. So yeah, the small Sony batteries for some reason do not tolerate the cold weather, and I don't know, batteries don't do well in cold weather, but the Nikon, and I'm assuming the Canon as well, the battery compartments seem to be sealed a bit better maybe, but they're also larger batteries, and the Sony battery is smaller, and I think the compartment is not sealed as tightly, so people were losing battery too fast. That was the problem with the Sony. Yeah, even the OEM Sonys. It's the size. It's because the battery is too small. That it just, for cold weather areas, it just doesn't hold. Hey, Flavio. So yeah, that was the only problem with the Sony. It wasn't anything else. It wasn't the camera itself not working. It was the battery power that was a problem. So, because Sony makes great cameras, no doubt about it. But it's just that battery. It's I don't know why they have such a small battery for a powerhouse camera. It's really it's baffling. Oh yeah, I mean, even to be honest with you, I mean, I had the two cameras. Even with the Nikon, I had 8 batteries with me, and I always kept 2 with me. But they lasted the whole time because they were cold tolerant. I was really surprised. But yeah, so when shooting with Sony, if you're going to shoot in cold, just keep a ton of batteries with you and keep them in your pocket so that they stay warm. It's really, I think, more a factor of the size of the battery, that it just drains too quickly. And believe me, batteries drain really fast in the cold, especially the cold of Antarctica. But just people were having a lot of problems with their Sony batteries. I did. I only had to use the cam parka once, though. I was sad because I really wanted to use my little camera parka more than that. But I did get to use my parka, which was fun. On that final day when it was freezing cold. And by freezing, I mean like 1 degree cold. Or for those of you using Celsius, Flavio, -17. Yeah, it was numbingly cold. I will say the Valorette photographer gloves held up like a champ. They were fantastic. Come on, where are the albatross? Come on. Where are you, albatross? Oh, it's in South Georgia. Of course. I'm already in Antarctica. So, yeah, I was in South Georgia also. Well, what is that? Oh, what a cute little guy. What a cutie. Oh, this was the first landing. That's a Weddell seal. This is the first landing on Antarctica proper. And I'll put a flag on that. That's a different kind of seal. It's a Weddell seal. Comes from the Weddell Sea. Well, he lifted his head up a little bit there, but eh. At least he's waving at me. He's a cute fella. Okay. Let me go back to looking for my albatross. I get complete ADHD when I look at photographs that I haven't really looked at in depth yet. Oh, this little guy was cute. So hopefully I got a clear one. He jumped onto this little tiny iceberg and then he jumped off. And of course I didn't get him jumping. Damn it. I thought I was faster than that. Oh well. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. We had a, well, that's a good shot. We had a, oh, I know, that's a panorama. We had a whale, a humpback whale breach right in front of us. 2 Zodiac boats. Each Zodiac boat had 8 people, plus the driver / naturalist. And we were all so shocked. Not one person got a photograph of it. Because at first place, it happened so fast. But second place, we were all so shocked that this giant humpback whale right in front of us was breaching. We were lucky that we weren't a little bit closer. That could have been disastrous. But yeah, not one shot. Come on, albatross. Nope, that's Elephant Island. Very dangerous place to land. That was where Shackleton and Shackleton's men stayed for about 199 days through winter, waiting to be rescued as Shackleton went and found help. These are Cape petrels, and these were just flying alongside. These were just outside my balcony, outside my room. I just couldn't stop shooting them. Well, photographing them. Wasn't shooting anything. You know what I mean. You photographers know what I mean. Okay, stop it. Go back. Look for your petrel. I mean, albatross. Come on, albatross. Where are you? Oh, actually, this is a good one, too. I really like that shot. I'll go back to it. God, total ADHD right now. I don't even know what year it is. Okay, Prion Island. Prion Island. There's lots of penguins. It was before these guys. Here it is. Okay, so these were on the way down. These Gentoo penguin chicks. And just before that, here we go. Here are the albatross. All right, so hiked all the way up here to the top of the mountain and got some hopefully good albatross shots. Just the wingspan on these guys. There we go. That's I kind of like that. Shows the wingspan. Wingspan was just mind-boggling. Oh, I like that one too. Haven't looked at any of these yet, as you can tell. And unfortunately, he comes in for a landing. There is one nesting too. Got a lot of them flying. That one doesn't show the wingspan. It's really hard with the wingspan, unless you can see it up against something. It really can't. You can't picture the size of the wingspan. Here's one nesting, but I'm not sure. I'm just going to have to kind of page through. I'll start with this penguin. Penguin mom. Here we go. So this albatross was nesting. That's not bad. Okay, so some of these are, I mean, they look kind of looks a little, you can't really tell how big the albatross wings are per se, but having the mountains of South Georgia there, the snow-capped peaks of South Georgia there behind them, with these blue skies, that was kind of a nice thing to have. It gives it a little bit of context. But yeah, very difficult to really capture the size of these things. I mean, there's 3 of them flying. I think that's a skua, but 3 of these flying together, just enormous birds. Even I was surprised, and I mean, I've seen California condors before, but these were pretty big. Oh, actually, hang on. The next shot. No, this is I don't know what this is. This is not the. Oh, maybe no. That looks like a Cape Petrel, or a petrel. I mean, not a Cape Petrel. Can't really tell. All right, so enough lollygagging around. Oh, hang on. This was the March of the Penguins. Hold on. All right, I'm losing my mind, guys. I'm losing my mind. Really. Oh, that's a cute one. I was penguin obsessed. I mean, I'm who isn't penguin obsessed, right? Oh, look at that fat guy. That's a hunky man right there. How can you not be penguin obsessed? How is that even possible to not be penguin obsessed? I mean, look at those king penguins. They're just so regal. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Back to the Cape, back to the albatross. All right. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. All right, so yeah, I mean, it's hard to see what how big these wings are here, but that's okay. Um, I'm gonna sharpen it up a bit. I was pretty close to this guy. This is, I think, I have to check. I think it was only 400 millimeter. I don't think that was the 800 millimeter. It's thinking, it's thinking, it's thinking. It's still thinking. I stayed up there quite a while. We were fortunate because, and one of the reasons I chose this particular ship was because I started to say a little while earlier, you can't have any more than 100 people on land at any one given time. On this particular ship, we had 103 people, plus crew, of course, but 103 passengers. And of those 103 passengers, there were about 15 people that went kayaking every time. And then, of course, some of those people that didn't get off the boat or weren't physically able to do things like hike up to the top here. So anytime we landed, we really had as much time as we wanted on land while the ship was in port. So, or at a landing. There are no ports at a particular landing. So we were very fortunate with that, and that is why I chose this ship in particular. Okay, this did exactly what I wanted it to do. If you look at the original, it's just a little fuzzier than I want. That really sharpened up the detail in the bird nicely. And you know what? I don't think, well, let me just increase that a little bit, see what happens. So that's, if anybody is thinking of, wanting to go to Antarctica, saving up to go to Antarctica, whatever, it is definitely a bucket list item. I have started to check it off on my map, scratch the map. But it's, I definitely suggest, not suggest, I insist you try and get the Falklands and South Georgia in there as well, because most of the animals are on South Georgia, the South Georgia island. There aren't as many animals, of course, on Antarctica itself. You've got penguins, you've got seals, and of course whales, but more of the animals are in South Georgia. But it's something that is really just spectacular, and you will never regret doing it, because it's a once in a lifetime kind of thing. There were a couple people on there that had been before, and I was amazed. I mean, I would love to go back, but just absolute, incredibly amazing, once in a lifetime type of place. Cannot suggest it enough. And go with a smaller boat. You definitely have to go go with a smaller ship, because you don't want to be rushed. If you go with a larger ship, what ends up happening is Um, they take some people out, and some people get to go out and go on land, and then you're waiting on the ship for your turn. Um, the bad part, I mean, that's never great anyway, but the bad part of that is weather in that part of the world changes on a dime. So you could have really good weather. You could have, not as choppy ocean and be fine. And within 10 minutes, it changes. As a matter of fact, just before I took off for my trip, two gentlemen were killed on a Zodiac boat. And I think I did do a YouTube or a short reel about that put on TikTok as well. Uh, yeah, that was kind of unfortunate. And then someone was killed on a ship while I was there by a rogue wave in the Drake Passage. We were very, very lucky. We had a why does my watch keep going off? We had a ship's captain that was so well versed and an expedition leader that were so well versed in winds and wind patterns, and so we didn't have all of the rough seas that other people experienced. We were incredibly, incredibly fortunate. I can't say that enough. So that was really kind of a very cool thing to have experienced it without any unfortunate incidents. It's a dangerous place. I mean, if someone is hurt on a Zodiac or bitten by a seal or anything like that, that means expedition ends and the ship goes all the way back to Argentina, back to port, and the trip is over. So it's not the kind of thing where this is, people think, oh, it's a cruise. No, definitely not a cruise. It's an expedition. And there is at all times the risk of someone getting hurt seriously, even unfortunately losing their lives. If you get through the whole thing and you have nothing but maybe a couple of cases of COVID, you're super, super lucky, which we were. And I definitely don't take that lightly because, yeah, could have been much worse. I don't think that was the sharpened one. Why do I not think that was the sharpened one? It doesn't look as sharp as I thought it was. Nope, that is the correct one. Okay. So I'm just hallucinating. And then I'm going to give it a little more clarity here. And we have got Mr. Albatross. Okay. There we go. Actually, I'll bump up the green a little bit. Just a little. Just to give it a little bit more definition. All right, Mr. Albatross, or Mrs. Albatross. It's got to be Mrs. Albatross because she was sitting in a nest. All right. And that was on Prion Island. Very cool place. All right, that's it for today. I am going to, oh, wow, almost 2 hours. All right, so I'm going to end it for today. Thank you to those of you on Facebook watching. Thank you to all my buddies on Twitch. Really appreciate you following me. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful new year. Happy New Year to those of you that have already seen it in, and Happy New Year to those of you that are close, and to those of us in the West Coast and Hawaii, which have not yet gotten anywhere close because it's still 10 after 1. Thanks so much, Flavio. I will let her know. You take care. Happy New Year, everybody. And I will see you in 2023. Probably tomorrow. Take it easy.